need to ask questions, that's fine, but that means you need to ask questions. Let's check 511. So there was kind of like a minor typo, not really a typo, but this 10 down at the bottom should have had a percent sign on it. So if you got confused by the fact that 10 didn't have a percent sign, oh, I see you found your binder that I put front and center for you to be able to find. Oh, reminder, look at me so I know you're listening. The progressing to mastery is going in math today. So turn it in today, or you'll probably get it back today if you already turned it in. I'm going to pass out papers once we get into the lesson. But if you haven't done it or turned it in, get it taken care of. The chapter 4, Progressing to Mastery, get it in.
So is this 521?
This is 511. It was Monday's homework, right? 511, this is question 59. Any questions on problem 9? We should have gotten 72 for that top section. 50% and 40% for those bottom sections. You could have gone ahead and written a little percent sign in there. Any questions? So guys, number 10 says to create a drawing. So like what we did in class with those percent diagrams, right, you could create something like that. It wouldn't have to be split into 10 pieces, but you could. You could split it into 10 pieces. So remember, if this is not done, if you're not doing it right now, you're checking it. Guys, I got some people distracted. I don't know. I'm a little suspicious this morning about where we're at. Guys, the answer keys are on Schoology. So like, if you're trying to just like get time with the answer key, take your own time. Right? Take your own time so you can actually think about it and understand it. 55% would be 44 gallons. Hey guys, you're straight up talking at the same time as me. Put the cards down. You're showing a lack of self-control right now. We are checking answers. You're being really disrespectful. Kind of surprising. How many gallons are left to fill the tank? 36. What fractions would be equivalent based off using the giant ones? Or what would your giant one be? So obviously it'd be the same on top and bottom, but if you show your work in some way that I can make sense of it, like this giant one would be 5.5 over 5.5. But really, if you show the arrow, that's fine with me. How do we figure out what to multiply by? You divide. Backwards. Questions? Any questions? He makes $11.34 each hour. Guys, what's making me nervous is some of you are copying answers, and I can tell. And, like, it's only going to impact you negatively when it comes to our quiz on Tuesday. Again, we're taking a quiz on Tuesday. Tuesday, when I'm gone, there's a quiz. Yay. Swear to you, if you whine to Mrs. Goldring, she's just going to tell you he told you. Because we're good friends. Yeah, Miss Martin will be here, too. Miss Goldring and I are good friends. Like, literally, I build things for her. We hang out outside of school. Like, she knows. She also knows how we all work around here. It's no surprise when tests are coming. So if you're copying this right now, realize you're going to be the reason we stop checking homework like this. If you are copying answers right now, you're going to be the reason this has to stop because I have to lose trust in you guys. Do your homework outside of class. Come to class with it done, ready to check. That we're not checking homework anymore in class. You have to do it outside of class. You're on your own. Stop copying or I'm changing what I do. Multiplying fractions, adding fractions, subtracting, but not really subtracting because minus a negative becomes addition. On to the next page. Or no, that's the next homework. Did we make it through everything? Yeah, because the beginning of this was class note stuff. Yep. I forgot, we only had the backside for homework. All right, we're moving on because this is recorded. It's on Schoology. It's available everywhere, and nobody came to ask me for help, actually. So that tells me that we all know what we're doing. Or you didn't do it yet, and you need to. All right, so today we get into probability. And shameless plug, today at lunch, Tabletop Gaming Club is no chess. You're not allowed to play chess today because we've got a shelf full of games that need to get played. So a lot of games are based around dice and cards. So if you haven't gotten your deck of cards out yet, get your deck of cards out. Like, just go ahead and open them up, spread them out if you want to, look at them with your partner. You've only got one deck to share, because otherwise we might mix up cards. Guys, tons of games use cards. Not all of them use a deck of cards, but we have to like make an agreement if we're all going to use a deck of cards. The jokers don't count. Some decks come with 2, some decks come with 4. They do not count. Only cards like 2s through 9, or sorry, 2 through 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. Those are your cards, right, Gabe? So actually, Gabe's asking a great question. Some games need extra cards, like wilds or things like that. Or let's say like my little brother accidentally eats the 5 of hearts. I can now write on this card that it is the 5 of hearts and put it in the deck because it matches, right? So you wouldn't be able to tell, oh, that's a joker, and I've had to do that. Like my dog chewed up a card, and then I make one of the jokers that card. Does that make sense? So there's little extra cards, because if you like paid for a deck of cards and one card gets lost and now your deck is not able to be played, that's kind of lame, right? Like that would be a shame. Anyone want to read? I got a paragraph. Alex, hit us with it.
Have you ever played a game where everyone should have an equal chance of winning, but one person seems to have all the luck? Did it make you wonder if the game was fair? Sometimes random events just happen to work out in one player's favor, such as flipping a coin that happens to come up heads 4 times in a row. But it also is possible that games can be set up to give an advantage to one player over another, but if there's an equal chance for each player to win the game, then it is considered to be a fair game.
Pause, rewind, say that again.
If it is considered to be a fair game,
If there is an equal chance each player can win, that's considered fair. Yeah, keep going for the final sentence.
if it is not equally likely for a player to win a game, then it is considered unfair.
So who has a younger brother, sister, sibling at home?
Too many.
Right? Do you ever like invent games with them? Or I guess, or older siblings, but you might be on the wrong end of this if it's just older siblings. So let's talk about some games we might invent and the probability of like this versus that and figure out if they're fair. So if you guys look at your worksheet, 523 here on your worksheet, asks us to determine, based off the deck of cards in front of you, now if your deck is missing cards, let me know because I should probably remove it from the classroom set. But with your partner, you want to figure out the fraction, decimal, and percent. So I would start with fraction for the probability of black, of clubs, and then we'll talk about C together. But take like 30 seconds or a minute, chat with each other. And if you have that probability page I gave you guys forever ago, Addie, is that what you're looking at? Yeah, that page that Addie has out. That might be convenient also. If you have that probability page I gave you forever ago, I should offer up prizes for people that. Because we put it in a page protector, we kept it safe, right?
Okay.
And you guys want to write this on your homework paper so you have it to refer back to.
Okay, what page? What?
Just like black cards in general.
What's
Yep,
the number?
it just says probability black.
26.
Remember, this P means probability of. The big P means probability of. Guys, it's okay if you lost track of this. I'll print more, but I don't want to print too many. Yeah, your group really only needs one to look at. Boom! There you go. Lily, Raphael found his, so you guys can look at Raphael's. Oh, you got yours too. You guys got one. You got one. Sweet.
You said the people who have this don't get fries.
Wait, but no,
I said I should offer, not that I
Already got it.
can.
I already got it.
26. Is today the 10th?
52. This is 20.
All right, let's use some random cards. We shuffled yesterday, so I'll make sure I don't shuffle today. Raphael, do you know how many cards are in a standard deck of cards?
Well, let's see. These are all the cards. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It'd be 4 times 13.
Do you know what that is?
Let's see. If I'm correct, unlike most times. 49.
Close. You missed one of the threes. You're good, man. I can't believe you tried to do that manually anyways. Most of us would have just grabbed a calculator. 52 cards. If you don't know that, if somebody asked you on the street, write it down. It is not 54. I teach math. You want to argue with me about this? There are 13 cards in each suit. You probably have jokers in your deck. And there are 4 suits. So exactly what Raphael just said, if we did 4, because the 4 suits, times 13, the 13 cards in each suit, 4 times 13 gets 52. Alex, quit counting. Do you not trust me? You're hurting my feelings. You're hurting my feelings. So 52 cards total. So June, as you and Gabe were talking about the probability of a black card, can you tell me what you guys said for that?
I have it.
Well, I'm asking June. Did you guys talk together?
No, not.
I did.
Hold on, Gabe, real quick, talk to her. Take the moment now.
I think I have the whole time. You guys are working together. 1, 4, 6. I could do that.
This is 13 and 4. This is 13.
I think. Wait, how many black cards?
So if we're looking at the whole deck, our denominator should be 52.
Who's the top card?
Anybody?
26. Sorry.
Dang, Alex, fast on the trigger.
I'm going to see that.
Ooh! Actually, what, miss?
Actually, it's half. So.
I know.
That 26 over 52 actually reduces down to half of all of your cards. Guys, that makes sense. Because it's half of them. It's half of the cards.
I was going to say that.
You don't have to say 26 over 52. Okay, I have a million tabs open.
Yay!
You can just say half. But wait, hold on. Lindy, what decimal value would that be? Yeah, 0.5. She said it the perfect way. 5/10. And then what percent, Nate? If it's 0.5, you know what percent that is? Goes a little bit bigger than that. We bumped 2 decimal places. So it's not just 5. It's 50%. Guys, you need all of these on your paper. You need fraction and decimal and percent. So if you didn't figure out clubs yet with your partner, take another 1 minute. I'll probably try to be honest. Clubs is not the same.
Wait, what is a club?
Thank you, Gabe. Gabe said, wait, what is a club? If we look at the deck, there are hearts. Hold up. There are hearts. There are diamonds. Those are easier to identify. Hey, friends, those of you talking over me, I didn't know this till I was an adult. Spades look like a shovel. That's why it's called a spade. A spade is another name for a shovel. So if you imagine, there's your handle, there's the blade of the shovel that you poke into the ground. That's why it's called a spade. I didn't know that till I was an adult, and then I felt silly, and I was like, oh, duh, that makes sense. Clubs are the clovers, right? Clubs are the clovers. So you're wondering how many clubs are in the deck versus how many total cards. Chat with each other. I'll give you 30 more seconds.
Okay.
You know I'm using cards, right? So here's the concern. This deck might not be true. So this, no, is true. If you want to count things, this is
It's supposed to be
then like we might be missing
0.25.
or we might have too many if you mixed up decks together.
You. Oh my god.
Then
45? 55? 52. Misk, how many spades, if we're going to talk like all of them to start with, or sorry, not spades, clubs, how many clubs are in the deck? Well, yeah, that's the reduced fraction, but how many clubs are in the deck? How many? 13 out of what? Guys, you should be writing this down. It will help it go into your memory. Then Misk reduced the fraction, or honestly, they may have just thought about this. Guys, how many suits are there? 4. How many of them are clubs? One of the suits, right? One of the, so that's how Misk got to 1/4. Apparently, I'm just going to show my desktop a bunch.
Yay, desktop time.
What decimal, Christian? Do you know what decimal 1/4 turns into?
I want to say maybe.
Let's phone a friend. Anybody? 25. Be careful. You're given 3/4. Raphael, you're like on the flip of it. You're given 3/4. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote. Oh, it's because people were saying 75. 25. Sorry that I wrote down a 7 at first. My brain works weird. And then that becomes 25%.
I'm so smart, bro.
Now hold up. Hey, look up here real quick, because I want to make sure you understand the next question. The next question says, if let's say we're going to play a game, and if we want to get a face card, right? We want to get a face card, and we're going to play this game 100 times. And guys, we haven't talked about this with you yet, but we're going to do like a Phoenix Discovery Night thing where people can come and find out about Phoenix. So let's say we set up a table where we have a game. And the game is that when kids walk up, they get to pick a card, any card. If it's a face card, they win. If it's not a face card, just nothing happens, right? They don't really lose anything. So I picked a card. It is a face card. I win. But the question is, if we play this game 100 times, how many winners do you think we'd have? Chat with your teammate for a couple minutes. It's okay if you can't quite figure this out. We'll do it together. But chat with each other. What do you think? Jokers are out. Jokers are never in unless we say they are.
Yeah.
Aces do not count in this situation. Only kings, queens, jacks. Kings, queens, jacks.
At least 100 times.
I counted 8.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. So, 80.
At least 8. Because times 10.
So guys, you could start your work by writing down probability of face card. I think it's how a lot of you are starting.
80 over.
Can I see you taking note of the fact that I was
We have 52 cards total.
It doesn't work very well with brand new cards that are so small.
Oh, wait, we're doing all of the cards.
The deck. So you drew a card from the deck. Placed it. You didn't like keep it out. You put it back in the deck.
I'll ask my editor to put card in that.
So, 44.
Everything you're saying is great, man. When I look at you, don't stop talking. It means I want to hear what you're saying. Jana! How many face cards are in the deck? 12, right? Jacks there are 4 of, queens there are 4 of, kings there are 4 of. So if we talk about the probability of a face card, it'd be 12 over 52. Because that's how many cards are in the deck, right? 12 face cards, 52 total. Now, guys, if I want to make my life, I don't want to say the bad word, But if I want to make my life easier, what if I double 52?
104.
I get to 104. Guys, let's just do this for a moment. So what would my numerator turn into? 24.
Oh, but
So maybe 24, but Misk has an idea.
would you subtract 4?
So here's the problem. Subtracting doesn't work in fractions like this. We can't, I love your thought of like, I need to get rid of 4, but really, we can't subtract 4 from top and bottom because then that won't be equal, right? You're not allowed to subtract with fractions. We can only multiply and divide, right? So if we want to do it the right way, quote unquote, and go from 12 over 52 equal to, how could I figure out how to get to 100? If I don't know how to multiply forward, we divide backwards. I want to show you guys how close we get to the answer we just got. So we divide backwards. Keep that number, guys, it's almost 2. Right, it's almost 2. Times 12. Our estimate is actually 23.07. So really 23. If you want to just approximate, you could say 24 or a little bit less. Right? So Misk had the idea to subtract. We're not allowed to do that, but you could say a little bit less than 24. So really what we found out is it's 23.07 if we're being particular, but that can't actually happen. You can't have 0.07 of a card. That doesn't happen.
Wait.
Yes.
So would the range for that be like 24 to 20, like 23 to 24?
Yeah. That you would guess. So guys, if you were planning this out, you'd want to make sure that you have at least 23 prizes. Right? Like this is how we use this to plan. All right, chat with your teammate, and you might want to read the next problem to know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to bore you by reading it for you. Read 24, chat with your teammate about A. I'm going to highlight the really important words up here. 24, it's on your paper. 24, you're doing A and B. 24, you're doing A and B.
Probability that we do not get a club, wouldn't that be, we count out how many clubs, how many cards there are, and then we count out how many clubs, and then it would be the cards over the clubs, right?
I think it would be
Mr. Hudson, would it be cards, the amount of cards over the amount of clubs, or the amount of...
So remember, the bottom is always the total. The bottom is always the total of whatever you're talking about. So the total is going to change depending on the situation. Because like there are more cards than there are sides of a dice, right? So the total of a deck of cards is more, but then you can also reduce those fractions, right? Like we did a couple times already. We saw that you can reduce it.
Math hurts my brain.
That's a good thing. Like when you go to the gym and work out and your muscles hurt, like that's a good thing.
Is my brain a muscle?
I mean, kind of. Miss Martin, what do you think? Is your brain a muscle? Yeah. Miss Martin's smarter than me, so I trust her.
I think so.
I'm just good at math.
To memorize things and things like that. So I think I would say it is. I don't know.
The only thing different is you just can't work out your brain physically.
Oh, yeah, you can. Well, okay, maybe not physically. You got me there. Destiny. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Destiny, what are the critical words up here? What are the critical words in this problem? Yeah, the nots, right? The do not get a club, do not get a face card. Now, guys, I would like you to get a highlighter out of your bin because I need to be more like specific about requesting you. And on your paper, when you are finding the probability that something will not happen.
Will this bleed through the other side?
Probably. If you do it quickly, it shouldn't bleed through too bad. Yeah, it's fine. This is called the complement. Guys, the complement means everything else. So if we're talking about Phoenix, and we say you've got the 7th grade, what's the complement of the 7th grade? What is the 8th grade, right? It's the everything else.
Oh.
If we're talking about a die, if I bring up the even numbers, what's the complement? The odd numbers, right? It's the everything else. So, Destiny, you want to keep going? Answer one more for me?
Oh, I didn't know you moved over.
That or I can move on. Move on. Lily, what did you guys figure out for the probability you do not get a club?
75%.
Yeah, I'm going to write that differently first. But, so the probability of not club, I'm going to write it again. The probability of not club is really, if I count up all of the cards, right, there are a lot of not club cards. 13, 26, 39 actually. So it would really be 39 over 52. But I think a lot of you probably pretty quickly went to the 3/4. Because guys, remember, we can think about the suits. How many suits are there? 4 suits. There are 4 suits. How many are not clubs? 3 of them, right? So how many not clubs? 3/4. And then Lily converted that into 0.75 and eventually got to that 75%. Gabe in B, we're asked about the probability of not a face card.
Okay, so since there are 12 face cards, what I did is I subtracted 12 from 52.
Guys, I love what Gabe is saying so much that let's write it down.
Yay.
Gabe said he subtracted 12 from 52 to say I had the entire deck. I'm going to take away the face cards. Ivan, you with me or do I need to take your cards away? Your pencil should be in your hand. We are writing this down. I got extra pencils in my classroom. They're back in the jar. I made it happen like I said I would. If you need a pencil, get one.
And then that would be equal to 40.
And we're always over the total.
40 over 52. And then that's going to be...
I think that can reduce.
It can, actually.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Look up here. Look up here. Look up here. Guys, every suit is identical, right? So when Gabe is giving me 40 over 52, when Gabe is giving me 40 over 52, that's everything. But could Gabe just specifically like look at one of the suits? And that's the reduced fraction. When we reduce the fraction, we're really looking at less of the deck. So when we go to reduce this fraction, instead of 40 over 52, well, in a single suit, 10 over 13. So this is going to reduce to 10 over 13 because that's what is actually in a single suit when we think about the not face cards.
Oh.
All right, now we're going to play a game. You win if you get an ace. Okay, you win if you get an ace.
What do we get if we win?
Homework.
No!
Don't worry, if you lose, you get homework too.
No!
So you win if you get an ace. Right?
I lose either.
So, there's not more aces? How many aces? So, Alex plays first. Alex says their chance of getting an ace is what?
4 over 52.
Because in the deck, Alex knows there's 4 aces,
And 52 cards.
and there are 52 cards in total. So, Alex plays. Hey guys, some of you are showing a lack of self-control all because I put cards in front of you. Alex Alex plays and Alex gets an ace. Alex keeps that ace to prove that they won.
Let's go.
So now I move over to Ivan for Ivan to play. What's Ivan's chance of winning now? Talk with your partner. Talk with your partner. Talk with your partner.
See how smart we are?
We're built different.
Yeah. We are the smartest table here.
What'd you say it is? You might want to analyze that again.
What?
Take a second look.
That smile was so evil.
Here, I'll creep into the YouTube frame. So wait, what happened with Alex? Like, explain to me what happened.
Alex took away a card. So now.
Wait, say that again.
Alex took away a card.
Say that one more time.
Alex took away a card.
Just from the aces,
Yeah.
not from the entire deck.
From the whole thing.
Oh! Alex took a card. Guys, grab that. Alex didn't return the card. So, hold up. Guys, a lot of you probably said 3/52. That's wrong. Since Alex did not return the card, that means your probability of getting a second ace. Now there's only 3 aces left, but how many cards are left in the deck? 51. Aha. You thought my smile was kind of evil. Gabe's got the evil laugh. Guys, now, my favorite, well, okay, not anymore, but my favorite entry-level game. And this is actually mine that I bought in college. That's why it's taped and looks real ratchet. Settlers of Catan. Now, Settlers of Catan, when you set the board up, ends up looking like that. Not just, guys, just take a moment to look at the board.
It's so cool.
Guys, stop complaining. Stop saying anything.
Just look at it.
Take a moment, observe the board. What do you notice? Like, I just want what, not complain about, but what do you notice? Alex?
That there's like different places. So like there's like mountains and there's like grass or trees.
Yeah. So about the game, there are different regions, right? All the regions are hexagons, because like these hexagons work well together. Keegan? There's no one.
Maybe you are the one.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why there's no one.
Like, do you actually wonder, or you
Raphael?
10, 6, and 5 are either the Great Canyon or Hellfire.
Okay. They're actually brick, but good attempt. Lily?
I played this game before, and there's a bunch of different biomes, and there's boxes on the board.
Okay. If you've played this game before, where would you choose to put your pieces based off the numbers up here? Do you know the strategy behind this game, Lily? Because otherwise I might teach you some strategy right now, and the next time you play, you might win better.
Why are some of the numbers smaller?
On this side,
Hang on to that thought, because Lily's talking right now.
on this side, next to the 12, the 9, 11, and 8.
But you have to choose where, so which number would you go on? Would you go on the 12 or the 9? Raphael, say again what you just said.
Some numbers are red and have dots below them.
And then what's the other thing you said? Some numbers are...
smaller.
Yeah, some numbers are small, and some numbers are big. Guys, when you play most games, like Monopoly included, and I hate Monopoly, how many dice do you roll?
1, 2.
2! Now hold up, we already brought this up in a way. Sorry that my one die is clear. I'm still not quite sure what. Hello. Nothing broke, don't worry. Guys, if I roll 2 dice, can I get a 1 as my, can I get a 1 as my, no, because I'm rolling 2 dice. 1 is impossible. What's the highest number I can get?
12.
12, right? But how many ways can I make 12?
Only one.
Only one. With 6 and 6. How many ways can I make 2?
Only one way.
Only one. But guys, check this out. When you look at this board, when you look at this board and you notice some numbers are small and some numbers are big, that's because it's guiding you through the probability. When you roll 2 dice, let's imagine we call them like blue die, green die. So I'm going to highlight this one blue. My blue is going to get whatever result it gets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My green is going to get whatever it gets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Sorry, I forgot 1 there. So if we get a 1 and a 1, they add up to a 2. If we get a 6 and a 6, they add up to a 12. But how many ways can I roll a 7? Well, 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, 5 and 2, 6 and 1. 7 is the most likely outcome when you roll 2 dice, which is actually why it also is not part of this game. There's no 7 on the board because the 7 actually activates the robber, and the robber moves somewhere else and takes somebody's resources. So the 7 actually activates a little bit of chaos, of like you get to go steal from somebody. And the 12 and the 2 are the hardest numbers to have as your result. That's why they're small, is to kind of code you into like, hey, these are hard to get. So unfortunately, seriously unfortunately, because I am jazzed up, we're out of time. So I need you to put your cards back in the box. Back in the box, please. What else? I got too many games to talk about. There's just not enough time. Let me pause this recording. Yeah.
What's your favorite card game that you can play with standard deck of
Ooh,
cards?
card? Depends on how many people. Because if it's 4 people, I would probably play euchre.
I like Slapjack.
Well, Slapjack's not